Welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Neff.
I'm Wyld Young.
Woo! And our guest today is a rapper, performer, known for popularizing underground bounce music in New Orleans and working with mega artists like Beyonce, Kesha, and Lizzo. Welcome, Big Freedia.
Big Freedia, the queen of bounce music. Release the wiggle. Big Freedia in the house.
Oh my gosh, Big Freedia, so great to see you. So your show, Big Freedia Means Business, is back for a new season. Can't wait, which premieres on October 2nd on Fuse and Fuse Plus. What can we expect from the new season? You're always cooking up new projects, so I want to know what's going on this next season.
Well, I'm still dealing with all of the business ventures, the many business ventures with, Black Opal, Shades by Big Freedia, the cannabis. I'm also expanding my record label and working on my new gospel project. Yeah. And also, last but not least, working on Hotel Freedia, the first Black-owned hotel here in New Orleans.
Okay, wait, because Hotel Freedia is new. I didn't know about that. Tell me about Hotel Freedia. What separates Hotel Freedia from the other hotels in New Orleans?
Well, first and foremost, it's going to be the first Black-owned hotel here in New Orleans.
Oh, great.
So that is very special, but it will have the whole Freedia concept. It will be all around my brand. It will be like no other hotel that you have saw out there. And I'm super excited for people to be able to come to this hotel and also taste all of the Big Freedia food that will be in the restaurant. So hotel/restaurant/ gift shops, all of the whole 9 yards.
Freedia, I heard you mention you're working on this gospel album. You're expanding your music, but we got to keep it real for a second. I'm Black, you Black. Black people, when it comes to gospel music, they real protective of the people that they let in the gospel music space. Do you feel like you're getting any pushback, any hesitation, or has it been open arms?
Well, I haven't got to that point yet, and I'm quite prepared for that. I come from the background of gospel music. I grew up in a church choir. I was a choir director at my church home for many, many years. I also was the choir director at my high school, sung with many choirs around New Orleans. So this is my background, and people know me from coming from the choir world.
Can you give us a little sneak peek of some of the choir stuff you're working on?
Well, I would just say that I do have some potential features that will be on the gospel albums, like Billy Porter, maybe Tim Martin. So the gospel project will be one of my greatest projects.
Amazing! Can't wait to hear it. And you're always doing such cool stuff. And obviously, one of them was working with the legend Beyonce on her song "Break My Soul." What was it like working with Beyonce?
Well, I died at home and came back to life.
Yeah.
But it was such an amazing project just to be on something that was so, powerful and historical. And I'm grateful for Beyonce and her team reaching out to me and my team. And it was just a great opportunity to work with her again, coming from Formation to Break My Soul. It's still such a surreal moment.
I don't know if you've seen the whole controversy with the CMAs. There's been some criticism for them not nominating Beyonce's album Cowboy Carter for any nominations. Do you think she should have been nominated?
I definitely think that she should be nominated. But if I was Beyonce, I would need validation from anyone. Beyonce is Beyonce, and Beyonce holds her own power. She holds her own glory, and I think she should have definitely been nominated, though, if not won many awards.
Why do you think they didn't include her?
Just being shady,
Because of the past. Are you aware of the history and stuff? She performed for the CMAs with the Dixie Chicks a long time ago. I guess she had a bad experience about that. Is that what you're referring to?
Probably so. It's just probably all of that, from the past or whatever. And some people just don't know how to let bygones be bygones,
Yeah, we had actually spoken to Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad, and he had kind of insinuated that he felt it was a little bit of a racial factor for her not being nominated. Do you think that might have played a part as well?
I mean, it may have played a part, but who knows, Like I said, when being Beyonce and being the artist that she is and the caliber that she's on, who needs validation from anybody else or any award show?
Totally.
So going off with that, like Charlie said, Beyonce performed a while ago at the CMAs. even though she wasn't nominated. Now, I know what I would do if I wasn't nominated, but do you think there is any way Beyonce could do like a performance? Do you think she should show up to the awards if they offered her the chance to come and open the show or close the show? Or do you think Beyonce should kind of like wipe her hands? I'm done with this.
I would probably wipe my hands and be like, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of think about that, especially because you're kind of similar to you jumping into that gospel space. I feel like, when you're a new artist in a genre, you kind of have to like wiggle your way in. Do you think that's a little bit of it? Like, do you think Beyonce got to like work her way up in the country scope, or do you think it's just
that's
some hateration?
Beyonce got to wiggle her way into nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
No, and Beyonce ain't got to wiggle into nothing. They just put her there.
And obviously, you're a New Orleans native where the Super Bowl is headed next year. And there was some controversy with Kendrick Lamar being announced as the headliner when some felt it should have been Lil Wayne because he's the king of New Orleans. And even Lil Wayne did a video saying he was sad that he wasn't asked to do it. And Big Freedia, you're the unofficial New Orleans representative. Who do you think should headline?
Me.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, you should. You should be up there for sure.
Yeah, I should be up there making them bounce. But seriously, I don't think that it was just, people don't really know, I guess, who decision it was to have the headliner or whatever. And I think that, me looking on the outside, looking in, I think that Apple was the one who was able to pick the headliner because of that spot that Apple holds for the halftime show. And a lot of people blaming Jay-Z, a lot of people blaming, this one and that one. I think that it could be a collaboration, effort for Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar to perform together. Who knows, where the show might end up. New Orleans is definitely sad that Lil Wayne is not the headliner. I think that they should have had some Southern artists for sure on the ticket. I think the Cash Money and the No Limit family should have definitely been involved. But who knows what's going to happen with the days ahead.
Do you think now that Kendrick Lamar has announced that he's the headliner and now knowing that Lil Wayne's hurt by that, do you think Kendrick Lamar should reach out to Lil Wayne and offer kind of like what you said, some kind of collab on stage?
I think it would be a great gesture. I think it would be a nice thing for Kendrick Lamar to do. I think he will definitely, get his love from Louisiana and from down south if he was to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And, big election coming up. You've been very outspoken on social media, encouraging
yes, I have. Get out to the
vote. Yep. And, you're rooting for Kamala. Of course, Kamala, she's very hip. She's been working with Charlie XCX. I'm sure Kamala has seen your stuff as well. Have you spoken to her at all, or has her team reached out to you?
Well, her team have definitely reached out to me. They have been in contact with my team. I have not spoke to her directly, but she definitely knows that the Queen Diva is over here rooting for her and pushing her to be the next president of the United States.
Okay, you got to give us the tea. What did they want from you? What did they ask, or what did they say?
I mean, they wanted me on a few calls that we had, a few Democratic calls or whatever. They wanted me to just continue to push the song. I did a little Vote for Kamala, a little song on stage that I freestyle. And that for the most part, they just want me to keep on campaigning and keep on rooting.
I want to ask you though, Big Freedia. So a lot of, or some of the criticism that Kamala Harris and her team has been getting, which I don't think is being levied at the Republican side of things, is that what is her plan for Black people, for marginalized communities like the LGBTQ community, in those conversations that you've either had or just being a part of? What do you think what is her plan? Have you talked to people about it? Does she seem to be is this something that's at the forefront of her presidency? From those conversations, where do you think the Kamala Harris administration is?
Well, I think her administration is definitely down to support the LGBTQIA community. She also had made calls about pushing forward the same-sex marriages or whatever. So I think that she will be definitely in support of our community. I think she has our back. They have not put out, the messaging to the forefront yet, but I think that she definitely will be supporting our community, and because we have our back as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you could say anything to Kamala, what would you say? If you got to meet her and had like, maybe even dinner with her or something, what would you tell her?
I mean, there's many things that I would tell her. I would tell her first and foremost to get in that office and run this goddamn country right, and do the things that needs to be done, and treat all people equally on every level, on every platform, and every race and every gender, and to just be a human being that will be mindful and very demure of the things that she's about to do in this office.
Ooh, very demure, very mindful. Love it, love it. All right.
Wait, I got one more.
Yeah.
Did you see what Janet Jackson said about Kamala Harris?
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
I did not. What did she say?
Oh, she said
that she did an interview, like a sit-down interview, and said that she wasn't sure if Kamala was Black. And she said, from my understanding, her father is white and her mother is Indian. So, kind of spreading misinformation because we know her father is Bahamian. Mm-hmm. And then there was some like weird mix up after where somebody claimed they represented her. They were apologizing on Janet's behalf. And then Janet's person came out and said, nope, they don't so she's not apologizing for the information that she put out there, or misinformation she put out there. Were you surprised, or are you surprised to hear Janet was misinformed about Kamala's race? Yeah,
I'm definitely surprised about it. I've been doing a lot of other stuff, and that actually, missed me. I skipped over that. But I am surprised by that, and I hope that Janet do get the correct information, and I hope that she do make some type of statement about it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel like that's like a common thing around like in like Black circles when it comes to this race right now? And it's like, is she Black? Is she Black enough? Like, have you been hearing that?
Yeah, most definitely.
Does that matter? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. Not to me. It matters who's going to get in office and run this country right.
Yeah. Amen. Right. Well, Big Freedia, thank you so much for joining us today. And everyone, go and check out the new season of Big Freedia Means Business, which premieres on October 2nd on Fuse and Fuse Plus. Big Freedia, thank you again.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. And everyone watching at home, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you later.